welcome back to another video. Today I'm gonna be drawing my YouTube banner. Um, but before I get into it, I just want to thank everyone for the support so far. It really does mean a lot to me. Um, I honestly wasn't expecting so much support, like even before I began the channel. Um, I don't know. I guess I wasn't expecting people to actually like be interested in like hearing what I have to say or just in general. Um um I don't know. I just didn't think people were going to be interested in my videos, but I was obviously proven wrong. I already have subscribers and people watch my videos, so I want to thank everyone for just taking time out of your day and for just allowing me to have a platform and just having people to talk to like straight off the bat. um because I know it's a privilege to even have an audience starting off, because I know a lot of people start off from scratch, like no subscribers, no nothing. So I'm just really grateful to have people supporting me from the get-go. So yeah, I just wanted to put that out there before I began. um but anyways, this is a different video. I just wanted to show the process of me drawing my YouTube banner because I love drawing. Um, so I was like, you know what? Um, I just thought it'd be an interesting thing to do, just showing people my drawing process. And there are a lot of things that I had to cut out because there are a lot of times where I wasn't happy with a drawing, or I couldn't really put my finger on something that was wrong. Like I knew that it looked wrong, but I was like, why does it look wrong? I don't know. But anyways, it was a lot of trial and error. So if you see a lot of like clips jumping, that's why. Um, but anyways, um, first I just want to talk a little bit about the process first. So as you can see, I first drew it by hand. There were a lot of references that I used. Pinterest is my best friend, but this was really my first try at actually doing it on my own, because usually I get drawings from Pinterest and then just copy them like that. Because I draw for myself, so it's not like, I don't know, because I know like stealing art is a very sensitive subject, and people tend to like be a little strict on that. But that's how I usually draw. I just copy paint like drawings from other people, then just, yeah, that's how I draw and paint. But anyways, this is my first shot at trying to make something my own. um I guess my first try at trying to make an OC, because that's not my strength. Um it's really not my strength. Bro, I'm hoping you can't hear Dingo scratching the door. I left him out of the room because he's very hyper and wait, bro, you could hear Dingo. But anyways, as I was saying, this was my first shot at trying to make an OC, because I usually just copy drawings off of Pinterest because I draw for myself, or I just give paintings to my friends, and yeah. But anyways, um I actually wanted to make this my own because it's on YouTube, of course, and I didn't want to rip off anyone's art or steal someone's art. So I still use references, of course, because like I said, this is my first try at trying to make my own drawing rather than like copying off of something else. Um, I still kind of copied elements here and there, but I think that's a little bit of the struggle of using references, or you feel like you're still stealing art. I don't know, maybe it's just a me thing. So yeah, so that was the whole process of hand drawing it. And then after that, I imported my drawing into Ibis Paint, and I traced it on my phone. And that was such a thorough process. I feel like it definitely did take way longer than it should have, just because I have a really old model of an iPad, and I don't have, and it's not compatible with an Apple Pencil. So I had to use like a bootleg version of the Apple Pencil, and it doesn't have like palm rejection and all that cool stuff. So it was really, it was a time consuming process to say the least, but that's how I transferred it from traditional art to digital art. Um, cause um, like I said, I don't have the equipment for digital art, so I've never gone into it, and I'm more used to using traditional art. So I was like, you know what? Let me make this a little bit easier on myself. So yeah, so that's why it looks digital on the banner compared to the traditional art. Um, but anyways, now that that's out of the way, I'm just gonna talk about random things that I wrote down because I was up late at night and having trouble falling asleep, and these were the thoughts that were going on in my head in that moment. So let's just let's just have a conversation about late night thoughts because why not? Um, something I wrote down because I'm taking physics right now. So I was like, how do we know this? Anyways, how do we know that math and science is accurate? Like, especially the formulas that we use. Like, ain't no way every single formula we use right now is accurate. Like, there have been a lot of times in history where they've been debunked and things like that. So I'm like, how do you know that what you're using right now is correct? Like, it always annoyed me so much, especially in elementary school, when you would solve the problem and get the right answer, but they're like, oh, do it again though, because you didn't use the, the, what we taught you. I'm like, what do you mean? It's still right though. Like, why do we have to use the exact same formula or the exact same process that you taught us? Like, that always made no sense to me. Like, what do you mean, bro? Um, but anyways, yeah, that's something like I'm like, how do you know that this is right? Like, I don't know. It's just I've never been able to understand how people can make formulas and then like apply it to real life. Like, how do they make them up? Like, I don't know. My little pea brain just can't comprehend that it works. Like, I don't know. Like, we're always giving word problems too, and we're told to find the answer, but how do we know that that actually transfers to real life? Like, I'm sure there are people out there who like do the experiments and actually show how they're correct, but like, right, like me not being a scientist, of course, or a mathematician at all, I'm just like, how do we know this, you know? Yeah, and that's how you can tell I'm that's yeah, anyways, you can tell I'm not a STEM major. um that's also another thing though, where like some people are like very strict about what they consider a STEM major, because I know some people are like, no, a psych major is not a STEM major, which honestly that's kind of what I just said right now, that I'm not a STEM major. But I don't know, some people, like, especially like, I'm sorry, especially pre-med students, they're like, no, it's not STEM. I'm like, oh, okay. But anyways, I mean, honestly, me personally, I don't feel like a STEM major, especially because that's not my strong, like, that's not my strength. Is any subject my strength? I don't think so, honestly. But much less STEM classes. Actually, well, psych classes I am, I guess, okay in, but like life sciences and physics and whatever, all that, no. I'm atrocious at it. I don't know how I made it through high school, but high school, I don't know how I was able to be in the top 10 in high school. Like, I don't know how that happened. Now I feel I feel like I peaked, honestly, not gonna lie, but anything over that, like, I don't understand. um but anyways, me going off in a rant about math and science. um so yeah, another thing that I wrote down is, how can we be sure that we know every species on the planet? Like, especially on the ocean, because I know, like, even space is more like, we know more about space than the ocean. Like, how can you know for sure that we know about every living species? And like, around the same boat, like, how do you know that species have gone extinct? Like, how do we know that these animals aren't hiding for us? Like, rightfully so. Like, I feel like at some point they would adapt and start learning where humans are, and they would try and hide, being like, oh, like these people are killing us, so let's go hide from them and make, I don't know, like it that has never made sense to me. Like, bro, you're telling me that we've discovered every animal. Like, I don't know, it just doesn't make sense. Like I said, especially in the ocean, like the deep, deep ocean, we don't know what's under there, bro. Like, how can we be sure that the megalodon still isn't alive? What if it just went deep into the sea? I don't know. Like, maybe they just needed more prey, or I don't I don't know, bro. It just doesn't make sense to me how we can know for sure that everything exists is extinct. Especially because sometimes there are like animals that they're like, oh, actually they weren't extinct after all. So I'm like, so how? I don't know. It just makes no sense to me. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just like, I'm sure there's been some things that we haven't discovered yet. You know what I mean? Like, you're telling me that you know what doesn't make sense though? Like, we were told that we discovered like aliens and everything like that, and no one cared. Like, no one batted an eye. Like, what's up with that, bro? Like, I thought like if people were to be like, oh my god, by the way, we found aliens exist, I thought we were gonna go into like, I thought it was gonna be mayhem, but no one cared. Like, what happened to that? Like, did no one believe them, or were people like, oh yeah, we saw this coming, or what's up with that? I thought there was gonna be a much bigger reaction to that, but I don't know. No one batted an eye. But then again, I think they're just trying to um distract us from something else, because I think around that time was, I don't remember what was going on during that time, but I knew there was like political things going on during that time. So I think they were just trying to distract us, and people caught on to that. They're like, oh, okay, that's probably not real, especially because it looked dried up. I don't know, something about it didn't look real. I was like, even I didn't have a reaction. I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, you're telling me, like, I don't know, bro. It's just like, I guess it's not believable at the same time. Like, what do you mean this? Like, the way that they revealed it too was so anticlimactic. Like you released that info for free. Like, I know damn well they would have they would have capitalized on that somehow. Surely. And to just have one, like, bro, you're telling me that governments go and decimate tons of people, but they just got one alien. You telling me they're not trying to kill the aliens? Like, bro, I don't know. Something isn't adding up. Like, you would think that governments would be like, there's aliens now, we need to do something about it, since they're easily freaked out by people. They're threatened by people, so how were they not threatened by aliens? I don't know, that makes no sense to me. That took a really like weird turn. But anyways, my point is, how do we know that we discovered every living species, you know? Also, bro, something that is so basic but also boggles my mind at the same time is that there are like billions of people out there, but we're never gonna meet every single one of them. Like, there could be, I don't know, like, I could probably make tons more friends than I do have right now. Like, there's so many like-minded people out there, but I'm just not gonna get to meet them just because I'm so far away from them. Or just, I don't know, like, just the fact that I'm not gonna be able to meet every single person on this earth is just crazy to me. Like, there are so many connections that you miss out on, you know? Like, you could meet the perfect person, but you might have not met them because you're far away. But like, I don't know. I do think though that some people you are meant to meet. Because, okay, like, people have asked me like, do you believe in fate? And I think, honestly, I do think I do believe in fate. Just because I do think that you're meant to meet certain type of people, even if it's temporary. Um Because the thing is, I think people come in your life to either be there permanently or, like I said, just temporarily to teach you a lesson or just teach you about something in life in general. So I do think that you are meant to meet certain types of people. And if you're meant to be with someone, you'll be with them. And if you're not, you won't. But the whole thing is, because I've heard of the rare string theory where basically no matter where you are, what circumstances, you're gonna meet the perfect person. And I guess that just, I don't know. It's just like the same concept where like there are so many people out there that you could connect with, but in the end, you only end up with one person for the rest of your life, you know? Well, like, I mean, it differs. You might meet what you think is a perfect person and then you end up meeting someone who's more compatible with you. So I think like maybe people don't believe in fate because of that. Like, oh yeah, well you did meet certain different people throughout your life. So is there really fate? But I don't think you have to really. I don't know. I just think people get fixated on finding the one, like for the rest of your life, rather than just like focusing on finding real connections. You know, because you might have thought that person was the one, but then in the end it didn't work out. But that didn't mean that they weren't the one for you in that moment. Unless they were a shitty person and they treated you like shit, then fuck them. I don't care. But like if they were a great person, they treated you like a princess, a prince, whatever. They gave you actually good treatment and you guys just drifted away for whatever reasons. I don't think that I don't know. I don't think that that necessarily means that fate isn't real. I don't know. Um but yeah, and also just the same thing where someone could be doing the exact same thing as I am right now. That's something that I've always thought about. Someone could be saying the exact same thing as me right now, and I don't know it. Like, I don't know why I always thought of that. Like, maybe I could be linked with someone and they're having the exact same thought as I am right now. Or they could be doing the exact opposite. I don't know. I don't know. I always think though, because if the people that you dream of in your dreams are real, like, because I know that your dreams are supposed to be based off of your personal experiences or people that you met in person. And what are the people that I've seen in my dreams? Um, what if I saw them in real life but I don't remember them? Because I'm really bad at memorizing faces, and like even in my dreams, for people who don't know, I have aphantasia, so that means that I don't see images in my head. Um, so like, what if it's that where like I don't remember their face, but like I remember their aura? I don't know how to describe it, but like I don't know, because there have been strangers in my dreams before, like people I'm like I don't know who that was, but like they still felt familiar, you know. But yeah, maybe it's just my brain messing with me, telling me this person feels familiar, when in reality, I've never seen them in my life and it's just my brain making up these people. Maybe, who knows? But just a thought. Um, but yeah, that's just, I don't know, that's just crazy to think about. That everyone is out there living their lives. Um, and you don't know what anyone is going through, too. Like, you might be walking around having the time of your life, you know, and just spreading positivity, and like you showing a person like that a little bit of your positivity could have made their day. Like I've always thought about that, because there are times where I'm like having a rough day, and then comes someone with like radiant energy and just like showering me with compliments, or like just making my day better. I'm like, damn, I really needed that. I needed that person right now. Or they told me exactly what I needed to hear, right? And I'm just like, damn, I wonder, like, and I'm sure I have, but I'm like, damn, I wonder if I've ever been that person for someone. Like, even if it's like, especially for strangers, because I know that I am that person for my friends. Because I try to make their day whenever I can, you know, and like just giving them compliments and, all of that. But I'm like, I especially wonder if I've been that person for a stranger. Like if they were having a bad day and then I just like complimented them or something, or I was just nice to them in general. Like I've always wondered that. Like you could have been the sign that they were waiting for from the universe. Like if you believe in that, of course, or from yeah, if you believe in that, of course. Like what if they're like, universe, give me a sign to do this, or like something, or like being like, damn, I don't know, like you could have changed someone's trajectory just because of something you did, like, or just based off of the way that you're living your life, the way that you're living the truth. You could have, oh my, you could have inspired someone to be true to themselves, to finally follow their dreams and do that one thing that they always wanted to do. And you will never know that you inspired them unless they vocalize it to you, of course. But I don't know. I think there are just those moments we have, like, I don't know. It just makes me feel grateful. Like, just the human experience in general can be so beautiful. Like, we're all connected just by the fact that we're all humans. And I don't know, that's just beautiful. That we all come from different walks of lives, but we still, deep down, we all want connection, bro. Honestly, um, and I don't know. We just have the power to make someone's day, and to pass on the impact that you've made, um, to other people. I don't know. Just being able to pass your energy from one person to another and go on and inspiring different types of people. But yeah, that's just something that I think about every day. Also, something similar, like along the same vein as like the decisions that you make making an impact, is a butterfly effect. Like a small, minuscule decision that you make, or big decision, it doesn't matter, um, changes the whole trajectory of your life. Like seriously, um, like I said, I feel like this is more like well known and like but anyways, yeah, just the fact that, I mean, the most obvious example that I can think of is choosing the schools that you go to. Like if it wasn't for me, or like even choosing where they live, like just the fact that my parents chose to live in this town made me, like, caused me to make lifelong friends, because if I didn't live here, I wouldn't have went to the schools that I did, and I wouldn't have met the people that I did. So just based off of that fact, like if I went to a whole different school, if I lived in a whole different country, I would have met drastically different people, and I would be a totally different person because of that. So just based off of that, um I mean, yeah, like I said, this is like more well-known knowledge, where like your experiences and who you meet and where you live and everything like that shapes who you are. But it's still like crazy to think about, where you could have made like a minuscule decision, or something that just happened to you, like especially when you're getting ready in the morning, and you might see as an inconvenience, could have actually saved you. um because I saw a TikTok about this, where like you might get annoyed at something small, like your toes getting burnt, or like your shoelaces being untied, um or maybe even like your clothes getting stuck on the doorknob, something like that, that prevented you from going outside, or just being late for a little bit could have saved you from something. um I don't know. And I honestly, that that changed my mindset on a lot of things, because there are, I'm very like, I don't know, I can be like very strict on time, where I'm like, where I don't like being late to things. I'm like, bro, I don't know. Sometimes I don't care, honestly. But if it's really important, then yeah, I do care. Um, and sometimes I'm just in my last straw. I'm like, bro, ain't no way, ain't no way that just happened. But ever since hearing about that, I think it's called toast theory. I don't know. Honestly, TikTok makes a theory about everything, but just like reading that and being like, honestly, let me not be mad. Maybe this is like my angels protecting me from something. I don't know. Like for example, in the TikTok that I saw, it was something about um like a small inconvenience happening to them. I don't remember. I think yeah, it was like that their toast got burnt. Um, and that made them late, but it actually prevented them from getting into a car crash. Um, but yeah, just something like that is what I meant, like more specifically, like something that could be protecting you from something bad happening like that. But I don't think that it necessarily needs to be morbid. I think a small inconvenience happening to you could also lead to you bumping into someone, um, which could have brightened up your day or something, or you help them out. I don't know, something like that, or it could just lead to you meeting someone that you wouldn't have if you weren't there at that exact right moment. So it just comes back to like the butterfly effect too, where like a small decision causes you something else to happen. um I don't know, I just think that's just a really interesting thing to think about. So yeah, like for example, there have been times where I bumped into my friends when I usually don't, even if I took the exact same route, but I had just never seen them before. I'm like, I didn't know that you had class right now, or I didn't know this was like around the time when you also went back to your dorm. Or maybe there's something different that caused them to see me that day. I don't know. But just things like that, I'm like, oh, I really needed to see it. Like, seeing you made my day. Like, just even saying hi to someone that you know. Be like, oh, that was a nice interaction. Um, I don't know. Especially when that's how you start your day. It's just a nice thing. Um, especially coming back from class, bro. I'm like, bro, I'm so done. I just want to get back to my dorm. And then I see my friends. I'm like, oh my god, hi. That just instantly makes my day better. I'm like, you know what? Life isn't so bad after all, you know? Um, but yeah, just instances like that where I'm like, I'm so glad I saw you right now. And if it wasn't for the routine that I took that day, I wouldn't have seen you. And I don't know, I'm like, I'm glad I did see you. But yeah, because I was very, very close to deciding to go to another university, which if my brother watches this, he's gonna be like, yeah, it's because of me that you didn't go to the other university. Um, but anyways, yeah. So just making that decision for me, honestly, it was the best decision to make, even though right now I'm rethinking it, not gonna lie. But it definitely was the best decision to make because a lot of my classmates went to the other university that I was thinking of going to. And I think if I went to that one, I wouldn't have grown as much as I did because it forced me to make new friends. Um, and it forced me to grow out of my shell, which I hadn't previously done, especially in high school. I mean, there's still a lot of things that I still need to work on, and I'm still like not my best version right now. But going to the university that I go to right now definitely did help with my growth, because like I said, it forced me to put myself out there and meet new people. Since I already knew a lot of the people that went to the other one, I feel like that would have prevented me from like putting myself out there because I would have been comfortable with the people that I was with, and I still cherish them, of course, the people that went to the university. Um, but yeah, um, also I'm not saying which ones because I don't want to. I don't know. I don't want to put that info out there. But yeah, that's just a really roundabout way to say that I'm really grateful to have made the decisions that I made because if it wasn't for that, then I wouldn't have met the amazing people that I know now. And yeah, they're just like a really, honestly, I consider everyone my close friends that I've met so far, my family. And I'm just really grateful for every single one of them. Because, like I said, it honestly, if it wasn't for them, I would have made the decisions that I made. Uh, because they supported me. Um, they've always supported me, bro. But especially through the transition between high school and university, if it wasn't for the support that I had during that time with my high school friends, my family, and even my Puente teachers, if it wasn't for them, I definitely wouldn't have been confident enough to make the choice that was best for me. So yeah, I'm forever gonna be grateful for those people that helped me back then and that are still my support right now as well. They've always been actively supportive of me. My teachers, not so much because I've lost contact with them, but everyone else, my family and high school friends, they've always been the backbone of my support. And of course, I'm also grateful for the new people that I met in university, um, because honestly, they're the best people out there. Um, so yeah, just a combination of people that have always supported me and incoming people that I've met because of university is what made me feel confident in even starting this channel, because I knew that I had that support, and then that they basically, I knew that there would be people in my corner and supporting me no matter what, because um, they've always supported me in everything. So I'm like, I'm sure this is another thing that they're gonna support and be actively invested in, and they have. And I'm just really grateful to be in that position um, where I can make videos and people genuinely care about them and hear me out. Um, so yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. Um, I appreciate every single one of you. And please do let me know if in future art videos you want me to get the process, the inking and coloring process, because I only had the storage to record the sketching process. So do let me know if you guys want to see everything that I do. Um, but yeah, if you guys also have other ideas for other videos or things that y'all want me to talk about, please do let me know. Um, but yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day or night. Remember to take care of yourselves, relax. Remember to hydrate yourself and put sunscreen on, especially in this hot weather. But yeah, just have some fun and remember that everything's gonna be okay, and it's okay to take time for yourself to just do nothing, honestly. But yeah, bye.